So I have a video about Gray and Juvia's relationship in Fairy Tail in the works. I'm sorry, it's coming, I promise, it's just long and I have to do things for it. But during the things I was doing for it, I realized something kind of fucking insane about Juvia's backstory. So, like, when we are first getting her backstory, like, during her fight with Gray, right? We see a montage of all the times that the people in her life rejected her or shunned her because they didn't want to be around her because of the rain or because she was so gloomy, blah, 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 right? And one of these scenes, she's getting dumped by her boyfriend at the time for being too gloomy or whatever the fuck. Can you remember who her ex-boyfriend is? Can you take a fucking guess? If you guessed the creepy fake salamander guy from episode 1 who tried to sex traffic Lucy, you'd be correct. His name is Bora, by the way. And this is in the manga too. Like, this wasn't just some random decision that the anime made. No, this is canonical. Juvia canonically dated Bora, the fake-ass salamander, for a period of time. And, like, at first, I thought that was just, like, a fun callback of, like, Juvia has a shitty ex, oh my god, it's that guy, crazy, whatever, right? But considering we are talking about a work done by Hiro Mashima, the guy who fucking loves to add foreshadowing to a question that hasn't even been asked yet, I don't believe that a decision like this, that specifying such a major character's ex-boyfriend, would be such a specific choice. Like, it could have been anyone that Juvia had broken up with. He even could have just used, like, a nameless, faceless guy, just showing his back walking away from Juvia's point of view, and it would have done the same job of showing that Juvia's had a failed love life. Instead, Bora is explicitly and canonically her ex-boyfriend, and it begs the question why. I think there are two reasons. One is that it gives a hint into Juvia's character, and two, it's a foil for Lucy. I'll talk about the Lucy one first because it kind of gives context to, like, her own character. So we know that when Lucy meets Bora in, like, the very first episode, the very first chapter, right? She knows that he's a fucking scumbag. Once the magic spell is broken, she knows that he cannot be trusted, that he is manipulative as hell, and she does not want to be anywhere near him. However, he tells her that he can get her into Fairy Tail, all she has to do is hang out with him. And Lucy agrees, because even though she knows that this guy is bad fucking news and cannot be trusted, he is also, so far, her literal only option for getting the thing she desperately needs. It's a moment where Lucy really is like, beggars can't be choosers. I kind of just have to go with this guy and pray to God that this is how I get into Fairy Tail and that I never have to see him ever again, kind of thing. I think Juvia was in kind of a similar situation, because we know, again, canonically, that she is desperate for any kind of actual human connection. So that's what she was wanting from Bora. She wanted that connection. She wanted that romance. And I am fucking certain that Bora was probably gonna do something really fucking sketchy, and so noticed that Juvia was fucking vulnerable and lonely as hell and preyed upon that. However, I think that he realized really fucking quickly that Juvia is actually insanely powerful and realized that this would not end well for him. Because again, keep in mind, Juvia is basically an S-class mage. So he broke up with her in a way that he knew wouldn't raise any questions, but would also hurt her enough to not make her come looking after him. So yeah, I think that that's like the parallel between Lucy and Juvia, is that they were desperately searching for a connection and for a community, and Bora sensed that and preyed upon them. And even though they both knew, because Juvia's not stupid, she's incredibly clever, even though they both knew that he was bad news, they both really wanted the thing that he was offering, so they were willing to chance it in order to try and get what they needed. Now, as for what this says about Juvia's character, it really gives a lot of insight as to why she's so different from the rest of her guildmates at Phantom Lord. Like, at some point during their fight, Gray basically tells Juvia, Josei doesn't fucking care about you, he's just using you because you're powerful. And she's like, I know, I'm not stupid. And, like, we see in her flashback that, like, she says that Josei was the only person who ever offered her a chance. However, Juvia is fully aware that it's not the best circumstance. She does not like how she's treated. She does not like that she's only cared about so long as she's powerful. Like, she knows she's powerful. She's fine with that. But she wants actual connection. She wants to actually be, like, accepted in a part of something. Phantom Lord is kind of just a place to stay. It's somewhere that gives her a purpose. It's the only time in her life up till that point where people were willing to spend time and hang out with her. And even though she knew it was only because of how useful and powerful she was, she didn't have any other options. What's she gonna do? Leave and then die alone with no friends or family or anything? At least Phantom Lord gave her some co-workers at the very fucking least, you know? Like, it just truly shows how desperate Juvia was for any kind of connection and acceptance, which is what made her vulnerable, even though, like, logically, she knew full well that the situations that she found herself in, or the people who did end up accepting her, weren't good people. Not only that, but she also knew that they weren't accepting her as a person, they were accepting her as a rain woman. Which honestly makes a lot of sense as to why she's so obsessed with Gray, because he is quite literally the first person in her entire fucking life who saw her as Juvia the human who needed help and connection, and not just Juvia the rain woman. So again, I have like a whole big ass long Juvia like video I'll make, and I'll probably post a version here and also on YouTube. I'm getting a YouTube channel started up. Sorry this was long, but I thought that was really fun. Anyways,